Drew Holiday and DeAndre Ayton to the Trailblazers, Nurkic and Grayson Allen to the Suns, and Damian Lillard to the Milwaukee Bucks to team up with the Greek Freak? Ladies and gentlemen, just when I thought the offseason storm had passed, a Category 5 hurricane has descended upon the NBA, and just like that, everything has changed. I mean, Jason Tatum and the newly revamped Celtics now have a huge threat standing in their path. Then as for the Nuggets duo of Murray and Jokic, well, chances are they aren't the best two-man combo in the league anymore. Sheesh, guys. In one day, the basketball gods have completely changed the NBA landscape, and are we lucky or what? There is so much to unpack here, so I don't want to waste any more time with introductions. Let's jump straight into this hurricane and examine the details and the implications of what just happened. So, before we get to the Dame Time and Greek Freak pairing, there's quite a bit more stuff about this trade that's getting widely overlooked. Let's first start off with the Portland Trailblazers. In this blockbuster move, they acquired Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, and a pocket full of change. Sources are saying, however, that the Miami Heat are now in heavy pursuit of Holiday, and in my estimation, they'll probably get him. I mean, the Trailblazers are now clearly in a rebuild mode, so besides being a mentor to the number 3 overall pick in Scoot Henderson, there's really little value that Holiday provides them, and well, $30-ish million a year is probably a bit too much to pay for mentorship alone. Then there's also the fact that him playing heavy minutes there in Portland will impede Scoot's development. So, given the situation, him going to Portland is pretty much just a quick layover until his next flight, which is likely to South Beach. You know, this would actually be a decent semi-big three with Holiday, Butler, and Bam, and given how Jimmy transforms into a superstar in the playoffs, they'd still be a dangerous threat in the East. Next off are the Phoenix Suns. In this blockbuster move, they acquired Nurkic, Grayson Allen, and some pocket change on the side. The way I see this is, well, it was actually a brilliant move for the Arizona team. I mean, to come out of the West, they'll likely have to face off against the Nuggets again in the playoffs, and that means going through Nikola Jokic. Last season, in that second-round matchup, it was clear that there was no one on the Suns who could stop the two-time MVP. I mean, their tallest players were like DeAndre Ayton and Kevin Durant, and for a 6'11", 280-pound Jokic, they were pretty much barbecue chicken in the paint. Jokic had whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted, and it was more or less a bloodbath by the Joker. Well, Nurkic is a 7-foot, 290-pound beast who could actually compete with Jokic in terms of size and strength. I mean, just look at this play here from last year, where Nurkic completely embarrassed him and sent him sprawling to the ground. I ain't saying he'll stop Jokic, but with Nurkic now on the Suns roster, it looks like Phoenix has patched up one of their biggest weaknesses, and that's strength in the paint. Then, there was something else about the Suns' recent acquisitions that was brought to my attention from a tweet on X, and that's, Devin Booker hates DeAndre Ayton so much that he's willing to play with Grayson Allen. Anyway, it's time to get serious now and jump straight into the eye of the storm. So, this literally changes everything, guys. And for the first time in Damian Lillard's 11-year pro NBA career, he actually has a chance to win the championship. Like, while he was in Portland, although he was playing at a superstar level, no offense to Trailblazers fans or anything, but the truth is, they were never really in that championship conversation. But now, not only is he in it, but in most people's eyes, the Bucks are now one of the few prohibitive favorites to win it all because, well, Damian Lillard fills in perfectly with what the Bucks were missing. I mean, Giannis is a three-quarters type of guy. For the first 3 quarters of the game, he's a beast who physically dominates games with his willpower alone. But in the fourth quarters, with his lack of handles and lack of ability to hit perimeter shots, especially in the clutch, he becomes mediocre. And the numbers back it up. If you don't believe me, just take a look at it for yourself. Giannis's fourth quarter field goal percentages take a noticeable hit when you compare them with the first 36 minutes of games. Then, if you deep dive into fourth quarter analytics, you'll see that his field goal percentages absolutely plummets in the clutch. Well, now Giannis is going to have someone who freaking specializes in clutch situations. I'm not going to give any analytics for this one here, but honestly speaking, from watching the NBA closely for years and years on end, if I had to pick the clutchest player when it comes to close games, instinctively, I got to go with Dame Time. I mean, that bad shot against Paul George, that closer against Houston, and that epic 55-point game against the Nuggets? These are just the tip of the iceberg of what comes to mind when it comes to Lillard and his clutch genes. He's going to fit in with the Bucks like a hand fits in a glove. Anyway, with this move to Milwaukee and with the opportunity to play with a two-time MVP, all eyes are on Dame now, and he's going to have to back up his words. Like just very recently, he proclaimed himself to be the best point guard in the league, above even Steph Curry.
You think Steph is better than you?
I don't think nobody is better than me. I believe what I believe, and that's what it is.
You think you're the best point guard in the NBA right now?
Yeah.
Well, now the onus is on Lillard. I'm not saying he can't back up his claim and make a case, but now he has to. I mean, the Bucks aren't perfect, but Lillard now has no more excuses when it comes to not winning the Larry O'Brien trophy because, well, he's now joining a team with not only the best regular season record from last year, but also one of the top 3 players in the league today. Then there's more. The Bucks also got Brook Lopez, who came in second in voting for the Defensive Player of the Year award, and then there's also Chris Celtics killer Middleton. Chris came back last season from a devastating injury, and in his first 10 games, he looked pretty bad as he averaged just a measly 11 points on horrible shooting numbers. But as the season progressed, he slowly got better. Then, in his last 10 games, he improved his points per game to an efficient 18, and in the playoffs, he was putting up all-star type numbers. It's official. The Bucks are now a monster in the East. I mean, Lillard, Middleton, Giannis, and Brook Lopez? Then, on top of this, I don't think Lillard and Giannis are going to have any chemistry issues because, if y'all could remember, this happened in the recent All-Star game.
My first pick gonna be Damian Lillard.
Well, now with this Lillard to the East trade complete, let's look at what this all really means. First things first, the fact that it was Milwaukee that got Lillard is like the Bucks say to the Heat, "F you for beating us in 5 games." In fact, Jimmy Butler was so sad at all this that he made this video to display his feelings.
Yo, NBA, man, y'all need to look into the Bucks for tampering. Y'all do. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Aside from that, though, this Lillard acquisition has really shifted the powers in the East. The Celtics, who, according to Vegas odds, were the prohibitive favorites to come out of the East after acquiring Porzingis, has now shifted to number 2. And the 76ers? Well, honestly, with all that James Harden drama still going on, even with the reigning MVP Joel Embiid being there, they aren't even in the conversation now. Then, if the Heat do end up acquiring Drew Holiday, then they'll probably take over that 3rd spot or possibly 2nd, but as of now, the Bucks are the number 1 team to beat in the East. They've now become a championship or bust team, and Giannis can't say anything anymore when it comes to his team not being able to surround him with the talents needed to win it all. One thing is for sure though, with a loaded Western Conference and a top-heavy Eastern Conference, we're about to see some fireworks like never before.